Hey everybody, you're watching We the Fandom, where we discuss comic books, pop culture, and the fandom experience. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more content. How's it going, everybody? Jacob here at We the Fandom, and in today's video, I'll be doing my breakdown and review of the second episode of Marvel's What If, a new Marvel Disney Plus show taking us through the multiverse and giving us alternate versions of the MCU films, with this episode being titled, What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord? As will be the case with all these episodes, each alternate reality will be narrated by the Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright. And I know this video is really late. I've been dealing with some medical issues lately, so I haven't been able to put out content like I would normally. But the episode starts off showing us a young T'Challa arguing with his father about wanting to go out and explore the world, but his father telling him that there isn't much out there for him and that what's important is at home with family and with Wakanda. We then see T'Challa running to the edge of Wakanda and throwing a spear into the virtual wall that surrounds the city when he gets abducted by the Ravagers from the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, when he's brought before Yondu, Yondu tells him that it's the wrong kid, but they decide to take T'Challa with them anyways. So obviously this universe deviates both from Black Panther's past, as well as the past of Peter Quill, because Quill, being born a half-celestial, his father Ego had hired Yondu to find his son on Earth. The big difference is that Yondu sent his men after Peter instead of going himself, and they ended up in Wakanda instead of Missouri. But we get T'Challa in kind of a Black Panther-inspired Star-Lord outfit, basically in one of the first scenes of Guardians of the Galaxy, where he is on Morag acquiring the Power Stone. But this time, when faced with Korath and his henchmen, Korath literally starts groveling at the feet of T'Challa and then ends up joining the Ravagers after T'Challa and Yondu defeat the other henchmen. And if you haven't already seen the episode, basically every scene with Korath is super cringy because he's constantly being a fanboy over T'Challa. The weirdest part of the episode, and the part that actually surprised me, was Thanos being a member of the Ravagers. You heard me right. Apparently, during his career as a Ravager, T'Challa talked Thanos out of wiping out half the universe, and instead Thanos decided to join the Ravagers. Again, it's super weird. Not only that, but Drax is a bartender. We also get to see a more comic book accurate version of Nebula, who has a plan to steal something called the Embers of Genesis from the Collector, which to my knowledge is not something from the comic books. Also, the Collector apparently took over the forces and resources of Thanos after Thanos quit his crusade, so the Collector is a lot more powerful than the Guardians of the Galaxy version. The heist mostly works out, with Nebula pulling a triple cross on the Collector, though T'Challa and Yondu had to fight the Collector at the end, and he had shown a treasure trove of the greatest weapons to include Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield. While he had been searching for the Embers of Creation within the Collector's vault, T'Challa found a Wakandan aircraft, and when he walked inside, a recording was activated where his father stated that they were looking for him, going against what Yondu had always told him, which is that Wakanda had been destroyed after he had left as a child. But T'Challa and the Ravagers end up going to Wakanda, where T'Challa gets to reunite with his father and decides to stay on Earth or retire from the Ravagers. And at the end credits, a little dedication is given to Chadwick Boseman, who tragically passed away from cancer last year. The episode ends with Ego showing up to where Peter Quill works as a janitor, I think, and seems like he's prepared to reveal Peter's lineage. So basically, in this universe, Ego's plan will probably come to fruition, unlike the version that happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, while this episode was meant to be a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, I personally think the episode sucked. I mean, the basic concept doesn't even make sense. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? Peter Quill was called Star-Lord because that's what his mother used to call him, and so that's the name he gave himself as a Ravager. Did T'Challa get called Star-Lord by his father or something? And if not, why would he have been called Star-Lord? They also portrayed T'Challa being competent in every way that Peter Quill wasn't in the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers films, which if you don't read the comics, Star-Lord in the comics used to not be a goofball. He used to be serious, even badass character, but he was drastically changed in the comic book after the Guardians of the Galaxy film came out, where he was played by Chris Pratt, an actor sort of known for playing the lovable but dumb Andy Dwyer in Parks and Rec. Another nitpick I have is with the Collector's weapons. On his weapons rack, you can clearly see Mjolnir, and since it wasn't stated otherwise, I assume that Mjolnir still has the worthiness enchantment, in which case, how did the Collector pick up the hammer and put it there? It doesn't make any sense. I doubt Thor, just before being killed, would nicely put the hammer on the rack for him, and Thor being killed is really the only way that the Collector could have gotten it. Of course, those two things pale in comparison to the ridiculousness of Thanos. Thanos, the Mad Titan, who we know from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, wanted to wipe out half of all life in the universe in order to create balance, and was willing to use violence to do it. In the main MCU timeline, Thanos not only succeeded, but an alternate version of him came to the main universe to do it again. But hey guys, guess what? Turns out that all Thanos ever needed was a stern talking to from Prince T'Challa. Literally, all of the problems for the entire cosmos at the pinnacle of the Marvel Universe could have been solved if T'Challa had just wagged his finger in Thanos' face. Just absolutely stupid plot. Now, someone might say that Marvel did all these things to really make T'Challa seem like the ultimate Marvel character as a tribute because of Chadwick Boseman's passing, but that isn't the case. This whole episode was written, scripted, and voiced over by Chadwick Boseman before he died. Not only that, but he did voiceovers for 3 more episodes, I believe, meaning that before he died, before Disney even knew that he had cancer, this had all been thought out. So it's just terrible writing, which is kind of the norm now because Phase 4 has sucked so far. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below, as well as the series as a whole so far. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. I'll see you all next time.